Hi, I'm Extraayogurt and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, then welcome back. And it has been a really long time since I last uploaded. Thank you guys so much for waiting and for still tuning in. We were honestly on a really good streak of weekly uploads. I think it was something like 9 weeks, and then I had a trip come up in school and all these things. So I'm really excited to be back, and whenever I take long breaks from building, I always have a little bit of trouble kind of getting inspired again, but thanks to you guys, this wasn't nearly as much of an issue. So this build today is inspired by a suggestion from a longtime viewer named Anna Chibi, and I will put the comment here on the screen. Thank you so much for your suggestion. I say inspired because I did not directly fulfill your suggestion. So first off, I apologize for that, but I still wanted to mention your comment because it is the comment that inspired this build at all. So I know that technically I used the bubble blower object, and this could be considered a bubble blower bar, but it's not very funky. I used a lot of neutrals, and I made it actually more so kind of fit in with South Valley City, which is where I ended up placing this lot. So still, thank you for your suggestion. That definitely helped me kind of get the ideas flowing and help me get this build going, because it definitely took me a while to sit down and start building something. I was really struggling with an idea, and even though I did eventually finish this build, it was really tough to get going. I tried starting it like several different times, and I just did not know what to do. So yeah, we are building a hookah bar / restaurant, and I like to call the bubble blower in The Sims the Smookah. So I've named this lot Smookah Lounge. So hopefully that word doesn't mean anything else that I don't know that I'm referencing, but that's what it is to me. So as you can see, I went with a very asymmetrical build for the actual restaurant portion, and then on the outside in the front and back courtyards, I made it very symmetrical. So my idea was to have most of the hookahs or bubble blowers, whatever you want to call it, outdoors, because obviously you probably don't want to smoke indoors or whatever, but I wanted just a couple of the Smookahs inside, but most of the inside being a restaurant. So as we continue to build, you guys will see kind of what I mean. And yeah, I know this is such a strange and random build, but I don't know, that's just kind of what happens when you've been playing for a long time, especially when most of your playtime is building. You start to kind of have to think outside the box a bit. As much as I love building grocery stores, parks, houses, things like that, sometimes I just want to do something a little bit different. So yeah, this lot also only includes one piece of CC, which is an invisible floor tile by Moonlight Muse at Mod The Sims, and the other piece of CC is not able to be included because it is a recolor of the Maxis bubble blower. So I'll make sure I link that in the description so you guys can download that before downloading this lot. And by the way, I got that recolor from a creator called Pineapple Forest on Mod The Sims, or pforestsims on Tumblr, and I'm sure you guys have heard of them. Their creations are amazing. So the hookah, the file actually comes with so many different recolors. It comes with a few mods, one which makes smoke come out of the bubble blower instead of bubbles, one that takes away the sound effects that come with the bubble blower, and also a bunch of really beautiful recolors. So I really needed this in my game because I really like the bubble blower, but I hate the colors that it comes in. So yeah, check out that creator. They make some amazing stuff, and this was just one of those creations. So you'll also notice that I used a repeat of the same recolor of the bubble blower throughout the entire build, just because it flowed with the color scheme and everything. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you guys are gonna see me doing a bunch of really weird stuff here with supports and floor tiles, because what I'm trying to do is make a bunch of domes outdoors. So I don't know, it's kind of hard when I thought of it last minute to build up everything I needed to make them, but in the end it looks really simple and probably wouldn't have been so hard to build if I knew what I was doing at first, but it took me a little bit of learning. So you guys will see me kind of messing around. So the invisible floor tile, this is also where that comes into play, and this is the reason why I needed it, because I did not know that when you start altering the terrain with floor tiles on it, that the floor tiles are what holds the actual shape of what you created. You guys will see, like, when I start actually making the domes and shaping them, you guys will see what I mean. But it was just really annoying the way that I built this. I did not have like the foresight to do everything properly. So yeah, I also thought it would be cool to make everything fenced in, and I figured that would kind of emphasize the courtyard look. So you'll see me trying to do a bunch of different combinations of half walls and fencing, and yeah, I really like how this came out. The whole entire building structure is very odd. It's very random, and like I said, that is because I didn't really know where to start. I didn't have a good plan. I just knew the type of build that I wanted to do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So in other news, this is very off topic, but I wanted to just speak on it a little bit. I noticed a lot of drama going on online in the Sims 2 community on Tumblr. On Tumblr. So yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, then cool. If you don't, then also cool. I just wanted to reiterate that I love this community, guys. Like, all I care about is everyone doing their part to kind of keep the community going, and by that I mean like sharing stuff, uploading stuff, you know, like interacting with the community, sharing your creations, things like that. That's all I care about. And this community has been super positive, super awesome, and I don't want anyone to let a few people ruin the experience for you. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner at creating, if you're a longtime creator. I think it's great that you are just continuously creating something and sharing it, and that's why I love this community. It's been very drama-free, like 99.9% of the time. So yeah, I just wanted to say that you guys are amazing. You guys make me want to keep building and stay in touch with this game. So yeah. Also on that note, just a general like life advice thing. When things that are controversial happen, obviously it's going to elicit an emotional response from people, and it's going to make you feel a certain way. And on the other side of that, sometimes you don't know how to feel, and that's totally fine. I think sometimes we can feel a lot of pressure to take a stance on things, and which, yes, it is very important to take a stance on things, but if you genuinely don't know how to feel about something, and this goes for anything that's happening in the world, if you don't know how to feel, it's okay to take some time to figure out how you feel. And yeah, I don't mean like, you know, waiting for others to tell you how to feel, but I mean like genuinely like thinking about your stance on a certain thing. And that's kind of how I felt with the things happening in the swimsuit community. I was just like, I don't know, like, should I be mad? What am I supposed to be? And then I was like, wait, like, I don't think I actually care, and I think that's okay. So I don't need to give it any of my attention. So yeah. Okay, so back to the build. As you guys can see, I have started the base of the outdoor domes, and I just used a half fence. I liked that one the most. It kind of looks like weathered iron, I think, but I worked out a little pattern that I thought might be nice, and I'm sure you can imagine I will kind of start altering the terrain in order to lift up those half fence areas to create a nice dome shape. And for some reason, because of the nature of this build, I feel like at some point I should say something like, hey guys, I don't condone smoking, you shouldn't smoke. But I think all of my audience, like, I think we're all like adults, so yeah, you know, smoking is bad for your lungs. But I have smoked hookah before and I did not like it. It gave me the worst headache of my life. I actually had to ask the staff for like a painkiller for my headache. It was so bad, I wanted to cry. So you know, I'm sure we're all adults here, so you do you. But I will say, hookah was definitely not for me. And of course it's bad for your lungs if you inhale it. If you don't inhale it, then you just get really bad dry mouth, and it's just not nice at all. So yeah, anyway, here I am adding these stairs now, and as you can see, I went with these iron black stairs and the matching fence. I decided that my accent color was going to be just like this kind of irony dark color. So yeah, and of course I went with floor to ceiling windows because the inside of the build is meant to be very, very dark, and I wanted some natural light somehow to kind of help that. I really tried my best to not make this feel like a club. I hope it doesn't give off those kind of vibes, just because I feel like, I don't know, I build a lot of bars and a lot of like clubby type of things, and I just really wanted this build to say like restaurant lounge, and I tried my best to avoid the club vibes, but I don't know if I succeeded there. But I do like that the inside is a little bit moody in the end, and you guys will see. But at the beginning here, I mean in the front here, I really wanted to do this sort of like fence entrance that kind of brings you in from the sidewalk, kind of like a beer garden, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I feel like the fencing really emphasizes that courtyard feel, and I love that. So and I used so much fencing that which is why I thought it would be nice to kind of break it up with half walls as well. So just to give us kind of a nice variation of patterns and textures and things. So yeah, I also chose to do a mix of roofing and foundation, or the stage foundation for the rooftop. I think I also did this with my brewery build, and I really liked how that turned out. I love that you can just build that stage foundation straight into rooftops. I feel like that's a really cool way to kind of like diversify the way that you build. So I decided to hollow out this stage on top of the roof as well, because it just felt like too flat if I left it completely filled in. So hopefully that helps explain that. Okay, so really quickly, I just wanted to explain my thought process behind all the different wall coverings I used and the different floor coverings. I just wanted to go for very neutral and very dusty because we used all of that weathered iron half wall. I really needed the rest of the building to kind of follow that because there was no going back and changing that half wall because it took me a long time to place all of that with the supports and everything. So yeah, I kind of just made everything else match that and match the fencing and the stairs, and so we came out with this nice kind of dusty theme. So I used this gray brick which matches the concrete sidewalk flooring, and then I also used that the gray stone, and I used this very light blue siding. It kind of looks like it could be metal as an accent color. I think it all flowed pretty nicely. So anyway, here we are. This is when I did not know what I was doing trying to make the dome. I was just trying to go by memory, and shortly I'll find out that all this was very unnecessary. I did not need to do all of that, but yeah, this was definitely a learning curve because it's been so long since I tried to do anything like this. And at first it may look like it's working, and it is, but when I turn off the constrained floor elevation cheat and I go to flatten out the ground, as you can see here, then it flattens out the dome as well. And for the longest, I was fighting with this, trying to figure out why, and I was getting really frustrated because I was like, I'm just trying to get this build done. I haven't uploaded in so long, and I haven't done a build in so long, and this is making me want to quit building this. So I did my research, I figured it out, and yeah, so I did end up having to put the supports back. And when I say supports, I just mean the foundation and the wall to help me actually build on the second floor. So I had to put that back. I guess you could say I could have changed the half wall at this point, but now we had the walls covered and everything, so I kept it the same. And I put that invisible floor tile on everything. Here I am placing it again. This is the invisible floor tile, and I need it both under and over so that when you view the domes from underneath, you can still see the half fence above, if that makes sense. So I'm essentially just hollowing everything out with this invisible floor tile, but not actually deleting any floor tile. And this is crucial, okay guys, this is key. There are ways that you can do it without the floor tile, but this, I don't even know, I didn't even get to the point of understanding how to do that. I just know that it's possible. So if you're looking for an easy way to create domed roofing for your builds, or I guess I should say domes with no floor tiles, I would just use an invisible floor tile, because that is what's going to hold this shape, the shape that I'm creating on the ground. Hopefully that makes sense. But typically, I mean, if you're making a domed roof and it's covered by floor tile because maybe it's, you know, you need it to be covered because it's indoors, then you don't have to worry about this. But I really wanted it to look transparent because, you know, the hookah smoke needs to go up into the air. And yeah, so now I was able to flatten the ground and it held its shape. So yeah, hopefully, I think it looks cool. Let me know what you guys think. And as you can see from underneath, we can still see that, we can still see the half fence. It gives it a really nice illusion. So yeah, I'm actually, if you guys can't tell, I'm pretty proud of myself for that. But yeah, just a little building tip. I feel like at one point we all knew how to do some really cool stuff with the CFE cheat, and then over time you just kind of like lose it a little bit if you're not using it a lot. So Now here I am just adding some dark brown stone to the entryways, to the walkway, you know, just adding little details that I feel like help tie the build together even more. It's all about the details. So for the inside, I really didn't know what the theme was meant to be or what it should be. I went through a lot of different floor coverings to try to feel out what I wanted to do. I don't know if this happens with everyone, but it's always tough starting. Like, once I knew kind of what I wanted for the outside, it became really easy to choose wall coverings. Same thing with the inside. Once I knew what objects I wanted to place and the color scheme of them, then it became easy. But at the beginning, it was a little bit rough. Actually, I guess it wasn't that rough, because I think I do end up sticking with this hardwood floor, and I do end up sticking with the brick walls. It may look like the same brick walls as outside, but it's actually different. Indoors, it's like this kind of warmer tone brick, and the bricks are also a bit smaller, and then on the outside it's like that cool gray tone. So yeah, I thought it would be easiest to just slap on a floor covering for the entire inside and a wall covering, and then as I go, then I can kind of change the wall coverings where I want them to be different, change the floor coverings where I need them to be. I kind of started with this wild idea to put marble floors in here, but I end up changing that. So but I did want a lot of height variation. I wanted to put a lot of stage foundations inside and make the dining areas a little bit more feel a little bit more grand. Now, as much as I wanted to put the dining tables on top of the stages, that was not going to work out here because of the floor to ceiling windows. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to put the stage foundation against those floor to ceiling windows, and then you can see it through the window. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I hate when I have to do that. Sometimes I just do it and I just deal with it, but in general, I just hate when I have to do that. And then I also didn't want to change the windows. I was not willing to even change the windows to a shorter window. So now you can see me. This is me sorting through all the different recolors that came with that download from Pineapple Forest. And these are just like beautiful recolors for the bubble blower. I think it's amazing. Also, I forgot to mention that download file, it also comes with a default file. So if you wanted, you could change the default colors as well. I prefer to have as little defaults as I can in my game, because something in my heart just loves Max's stuff, even if it is a little bit ugly. So I just chose to keep it as recolors. And I'm just kind of messing around here with different objects, seeing what I can do with this space. It's definitely harder when I just build with my heart instead of actually planning things out, because I end up with kind of odd spaces that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. So yeah. And then I think actually that cut that we just did was the next day, because I needed to look at it with fresh eyes and kind of figure out what I was doing. It definitely helps that I only made this little section of the restaurant 2 stories. Gave me a lot less to decorate. And in this little 2-story section, this is the only part of the restaurant where I decided to put more hookahs, because they're quite tall. So I can't place them on a stage and have them in a 1-story room, if that makes sense. It would clip through the ceiling. So that kind of worked out perfectly. And then you're probably wondering, well, I just said like I need the hookahs to be outside because of the smoke, but then I still put hookahs inside. And honestly, I don't know. I guess my logic was like, if the hookah is in a 2-story room, then like it has better airflow, I guess. But honestly, it would have been a cool touch if I added some air vents as well to this section. I think that would have been a nice detail. But anyway, as you guys can see, I went with a lot of dark brown colors. I felt like actually didn't mind the repetitive like brown everywhere. I think because everything is like a slightly different shade of brown, it made it a little bit more interesting. And yeah, guys, I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I'm just really excited to be uploading again and to have this build be finished. But yeah, also at the end of the build, I added in some clips of the hookah actually in action. So you can determine from that if you want to go ahead and download that or not. But yeah, I wanted a stage here in the middle for one of the hookahs, and then I end up adding two more. So yeah. Unimportant, but I did want to mention that I'm building this lot in Sunwater, and then I plop it in South Valley City. And that's because South Valley City has so many lots now, and there's so many neighborhood decorations that it is just instant pink soup whenever I'm in that neighborhood. But that is not going to stop me from adding more lots and getting that neighborhood finally finished, which at this point, who knows if I'm ever going to be done. I keep adding stuff to that neighborhood, and I still need to finish homes on the grid, and there's all these things. But oh, really quickly, these couch recolors come from a really awesome creator from Tumblr that I cannot remember right now. But oh my gosh, I cannot remember their name. 1 second. Okay, here we are. Studio Lolita on Tumblr makes awesome content. Definitely check them out. Actually did not end up using any of those couch recolors. I downloaded them thinking I would use them in this lot, and I didn't. Nonetheless, they're still really amazing, and I'm gonna keep them in my game because yeah, I love Maxis objects. I love good Maxis recolors. So go ahead and check them out if you're interested. But and I'll link their page in the description. But anyway, like I was saying, South Valley City is instant pink soup whenever I'm there. So this has been my workaround, is building lots in my more sparse neighborhoods and then just plopping them where I want them. So little tip for you guys if you needed a workaround for issues like that as well. So I know there's been a lot of research done on pink soup, and I will be installing Linux eventually, just not now. Just too busy, just don't feel like it. So for now, I am just constantly doing workarounds, and that is one that has worked for me. So yeah, anyway, here I am adding the other 2 hookahs and giving them a little kind of tiled off area, just to make it look a little bit more, I guess, interesting, a little bit more grand. And it's around this point where I really start figuring out the color scheme that I want, because I started off wanting to do a kind of red and black and keep things really dark. And yeah, I started to want to do that, and then I end up changing it to a purple and black color scheme. And right now, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm realizing I really do not like the current song that's playing in the background, and I'm making a note to myself to remove this from my list of background music. So yeah, anyway, this is just not the vibe, guys. This is bringing me down. So It's in the video now. It's gonna stay, but I will not use this song again. Ooh. But anyway, so I also wanted to have these little loungy hangout areas scattered around. So there's a lot going on in this restaurant. There's dining tables, obviously there's hookah areas, and then there's lounge areas. So this is definitely a kind of social spot for your Sims. And I actually, when I play tested this lot, I really liked the mix of things going on. So every hookah inside was being used, and there were a couple outside also being used, and then there were also Sims, like 3 different sets of Sims dining at the dining tables. So it felt very lively. I really liked it. And when the Sims use the bubble blower, they're laughing a lot, and it just sounds like they're having a bunch of fun. And I don't know, I just really liked that sort of background noise while my Sim visited this lot. I thought it just had really nice vibes. So my main form of decor was definitely using plants. There's plants everywhere in this build. It actually started to be overwhelming. I placed so many plants, and it just felt fitting. It felt like the best way to decorate for this lot. And yeah, you guys will see, I add so many plants. But yeah, I don't know, it meshed really well with the color scheme, with the layout, and everything. And then I also carry the all the same plants that I used indoors. I carry that into the outside courtyards, and it all just kind of tied together kind of nicely. So all right, so really quickly, I wanted to acknowledge, or what's the word? I wanted to acknowledge the way that I decorated this upper floor. I'm getting better each time at decorating these big open spaces, but this is one of my go-tos. I use fencing. In this case, I also use the stage foundation, but I use fencing to create something interesting to look at on the upper level. Just dealing with these big blank spaces can be difficult, especially when you're trying not to use CC and a bunch of different wall hangings or paintings and stuff like that. So I went with these little sections where I added some more plants, some fake dirt, these little trees, and then I also changed the wall coverings in those areas. It makes it a lot more interesting to look at. And much later in our decorating process, I add all of the lighting, which also really adds some cool dimension to this upper floor. Unlike other builds, I was just trying to like it enough. I didn't want to obsess over everything being perfect, and I just really needed to get back in the groove of building and decorating more than anything. So there are some areas where I'd usually spend more time, but in this build I kind of blazed through it, and I think that's okay. I do like the outcome of this. So also I use those big mirrors to cover up some wall space as well. And later on, like I said, I add some nice mood lighting too. So now down on the other end of the restaurant, I am trying to figure out how to split it up so that we can have bathrooms and a kitchen as well as more dining space. So yeah, I end up, let's see, me adding that little 3x3 section there was really nice because I was able to kind of squeeze in 2 little bathrooms in that little section, and there's no windows, and it's just perfect for the bathrooms. And then off in the corner here, I made an archway with a separate little room for the entryway into the kitchen. So and the only reason I did that is because there's 2 floor-to-ceiling windows there that I did not want to get rid of because they add to the symmetry of the build on the exterior. So instead, I just made a little tiny room as like a kind of foyer to the kitchen entrance, excuse me. Now, like I was saying earlier, I wanted lots of different levels on the interior of the restaurant. So not only did I add a bunch of stage foundations, but I thought it might be cool that over in this corner that I make a drop down dining area. So I wanted it to be kind of secluded off in the corner, and I just wanted it to be one big dining area. So yeah, I think this is just really cute and cozy. I used the sectional style dining chairs, and yeah, it just kind of worked out perfectly that way. It left a little bit of a walkway for the staff to get through to the kitchen, and I decorated around it with some shrubs, kind of carrying on that purple theme all the way to the corner. And yeah, I like this a lot. It was a little bit cramped in terms of trying to get screenshots, but yeah, it works perfectly fine. Your Sims can get around just fine. So here I am also adding a little bit more of that dark gray concrete just to mix up the wall coverings a bit. I love using 1,000 different wall coverings in my builds, so I thought that would be a nice touch at the entrance there. And I wanted to squeeze in just a couple more dining tables, smaller ones for Sims that are alone or in groups of 2 to have a little bit of a smaller dining space. So yeah. I'm just now doing the math and noticing this build took me roughly 6 hours, which honestly for me, for this size of lot, is pretty good. So I'm kind of giving myself a pat on the back for that. But yeah, I tend to take very, very long on community lots. They just, I feel like, require a lot more creativity for me than houses. You know, obviously every house has like kind of the same components, but sometimes the community lots can be a bit of a challenge for me, especially when they are something random as this. So yeah, but 6 hours for this size of lot, not too bad for me. So okay, for the kitchen, I thought it would be cool to open it up and make it one of those restaurant kitchens where the guests can see into the kitchen a bit. It's not necessarily in a place where there's a lot of foot traffic. So yeah, it is kind of off in that corner, but I still thought it might be cool to kind of have that commotion going from the corner of the restaurant. And then I wasn't sure what I was doing there, but I think I was checking to see if I painted any of the ceilings yet. But oh yeah, so the sectional couch near the entrance I figured would be kind of like the waiting area. Even though your Sims don't need it, I thought it's kind of like a cool, realistic addition. And you know, South Valley City is pretty much based on things I see in real life. So now here I am just adding some details here, adding floor coverings inside of the columns and unnecessary stuff like that. So these little 3x3 squares that I'm laying down outside, these are where the outdoor hookahs are gonna sit. And yeah, I add a little design in the middle there, just like the ones inside, just to mark where each bubble blower will be. So now looking at it, I think I definitely could have been fine with just one bubble blower per area, but I mean, I guess 2 does make it look more busy and a little bit more full. So like I said, when I play tested this lot, there was a good amount of the bubble blowers being used, which was very satisfying to see. The object, when the objects I place on a community lot actually are being used, that is very satisfying for me. So So yeah, I do end up just carrying on the same floor coverings throughout each of these little areas and making everything slowly kind of mesh together. And they're just a bunch of lounge areas. I just end up putting couches, lots of seating, the bubble blowers, I think a couple of end tables, and lots of gardening. So you really get a nice vibe when your Sims come to visit this lot. But yeah, ultimately the functionality is that this is just a restaurant with lots of spaces for your Sims to socialize, and I love it. So I hope you guys like it too. And honestly, from here, well, after we place all of the outdoor objects, from here we're pretty much just detailing and adding final touches. I worked a little bit weird in this build because I figured that I would put my main objects down first and then kind of go back and add decorations, but I think once I got to that point, I felt like there were already enough objects on the lot. Like there were so many plants. You guys know when you're building something and you add a lot of plants that you start to drop frames and it starts getting a little bit slow. That's pretty much what started happening to me on this lot, but the playtest went well, so hopefully it's not too bad on your computers to actually load up this lot. Here you can see me adding the same seating from inside on the outside. I really like that these specific sectionals, they are black, but they have this kind of purplish undertone that really complements the purple theme I was going for. So that is why I went with these chairs. All right, so now we are getting into my very favorite part of every build, which is adding lighting. I wasn't talking during this part, but as you guys can see, I used the pool tool to add some cool water features around the building. I just wanted to fill up those big empty spaces with something other than more plants. So I thought adding water would be really cool. And I actually do like how it came out. It's very like understated, but it's still there, if that makes sense. So lighting was interesting. I feel like this build feels really, really dark, and I was already really pushing it on how many objects I placed on this lot. So tried to get creative the best I could, and so I ended up using these lanterns. I love the look of these lanterns, and I just used move objects on and placed them at like slightly varied heights around the trees, and it kind of looks like those lanterns are hanging from the tree, and that's exactly what I was going for. So I placed 2 of those around every single purple tree, and I just love that. That just looks so cute. And yes, it does not impede on your Sim's ability to walk through there, which is perfect. And then on the inside, I do the same thing. Yeah, lighting was usually, well, lighting is my favorite part of every build, but for some reason in this build, it was a little bit taxing because I don't know if it's my monitor or my eyes, but it just felt so dark in this build. And I was worried I would have to put an insane amount of lighting, but I think I got away with not having to add too much. So I added some wall sconces on the upper floor to add some nice warm lighting. Then I added some more sconces around those mirrors. They are, the lighting is of course to see, but it is also partially part of the decoration. Actually, I don't have a lot of actual decor going on here. I just added some candles to each table, and I added one potted plant by the entrance. Other than that, there's not really any like proper decor going on. And for some reason I could not illuminate that little section I carved out, which was annoying. But also, you guys did see me paint the ceilings, of course. Cannot forget to paint the ceilings. I was working a little bit backwards in this build, so I almost forgot, but and then here I am. I just nestled in some little candle lights between the plants there to warm up the space. And yeah, I will never not say this. Lighting changes the entire ambiance of your build. It really brings it to life, makes it feel how you imagine it would feel. And oh yes, okay, so here are some little clips of the hookah in action, and this is with the mod from Pineapple Forest in that link that will be in the description. It changes the bubbles into an actual smoke cloud, and of course smoking this much is probably not good for grandma, but she is my tester sim right now. And yeah, I just love how cool this looks. And then here we are inside. All right, and now we are into the screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, everything you need will be in the description. And yeah, I had a lot of fun building this and getting back into building. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I can't wait to see you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.